Hello there, we have the problem 6 plus 8 divided by 4 times 3. And I think this one's a very good test of the order of operations and the understanding of it. A lot of people get this right, but a lot of people have misunderstandings of a lot of the acronyms used, especially PEMDAS. 6 plus 8 divided by 4 times 3. Do you think you know the answer? Um, Hopefully you're not someone who believes that multiplication is solved before division because you memorized PEMDAS. The way this works, multiplication and division, they have equal precedence. Division is nothing more than multiplying by a reciprocal. So in this case, we would solve 8 divided by 4 first. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and then we're left with the 2 times 3. Multiplication now, at this stage on the second line, this has precedence over the addition. So here we'd multiply 2 times 3 and get 6. 6 plus 6 is equal to what? Well, obviously 12. So 12 would be the correct answer. Now, I know a lot of people out there are saying, well, I memorized PEMDAS, and PEMDAS says I do the multiplication first. A lot of people are taking 4 times 3, getting 12, and then taking 8 divided by 12, and then getting that result and adding to 6, saying 6 plus 8 divided by 12. And that is incorrect. I'm hoping that you're not one that thinks multiplication is solved before division because you memorized a very misunderstood acronym like PEMDAS. The truth is, PEMDAS, a lot of people believe order of operations is random. There's other people who heard of acronyms, but they don't understand them. And it really all comes down to this fundamental lack of understanding of the relationship between multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. That's why personally, I really don't like to hear things like PEMDAS, BODMAS, BEDMAS, BIDMAS. They're acronyms. They were intended to be memorization tools, but they're often misunderstood. And a lot of students just that's all they memorize. They memorize the letters, but they don't really understand what's behind those letters. I would rather see people understand the relationship between the operations. I'm going to say PEMDAS and BODMAS are not incorrect. They are correct. But what's really wrong is our understanding of them. And then there's also this thing that always comes up. Well, multiplication and division are always solved left to right. And you just keep hearing this left to right drilled into people. And they don't really understand what that means either. And a lot of people they interpret that as, well, I read left to right, so I must solve everything left to right. It doesn't matter if it's multiplication, addition. I just go left to right. Um, PEMDAS, even though it's written with the M before the D, it could be written. The M and the D are of the same precedence. Division is nothing more than multiplying by a reciprocal. You could actually write PEMDAS as PEDMAS. You could put the D before the M. It doesn't matter because they're at the same precedence. And the same is true with the A and the S. You have addition and subtraction. So again, for those who may not be familiar, I may be jumping ahead, but PEMDAS represents parentheses, exponents. Now, it's exponents, but it also could be factorials, it could be square roots, anything that's shorthand for repeated multiplication. Then the M is supposed to represent multiplication. The D is supposed to represent division, A for addition, S for subtraction. And I'll see some people take this all the way to the extreme of believing that addition is solved before subtraction, which is also completely wrong and a complete misunderstanding. Addition and subtraction also have equal precedence. It could have been written AS or SA. It's kind of hard to say pedmasa, or PEMDSA. Kind of difficult to say, so they settled on PEMDAS. But it really could be written any of those ways. Remember, subtraction is nothing more than adding a negative number. All right. So here we have 6 plus 8 divided by 4 times 3. And I've said this several times already, but division is equivalent to multiplication by a reciprocal. Well, let's take a look at that and see how we get the same answer of 12. All right. Well, 8 divided by 4 is the same thing as 8 multiplied by 1/4. All right. So we work that out. We worked that out. 8 times a fourth is the same thing as 2, right? It's the same as 8 divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. You get the same answer. And as a matter of fact, when it comes down to it, the whole left to right thing can be considered nonsense too. You always hear people say, well, you just solve your multiplication and division left to right. Well, I can also take this, and I've converted it to multiplication. 8 times 4, 8 times 1/4 times 3 is the same as 3 times 8 multiplied by a fourth. And it's also the same as 1/4 times 3 times 8. You can see when I have this as multiplication, I could rearrange these numbers in any order, and I'm still going to get the same result when I add it to 6. All right, so you got to be careful with this whole left to right thing when you're trying to understand it. Now, and I hear this too. I read left to right, so why don't we solve left to right? Well, multiplication is literally defined as repeated addition. Please look it up in your dictionary. It's kind of a convoluted, um, maybe difficult to read English description in the dictionary, but basically what it's saying is that multiplication is it's literally adding a number of integers onto zero, which is really nothing more than repeated addition. But multiplication has precedence. It definitely does. I mean, think about it. When we convert we convert the division, it's same as 8 divided by 4, right? 8 divided by 4 times 3. Well, 8 fourths times 3. This is equivalent. But remember, 8 fourths times 3 is the same thing as adding 8 fourths 3 times. The same, I could write this out as addition, 8 fourths plus 8 fourths plus 8 fourths. So that's why we need to resolve the multiplication before adding 6 plus 8 fourths and then multiplying that by 3. We don't do that because we have to resolve the multiplication first. Multiplication, think of it as shorthand. It's a shorthand way of writing it. I'd rather write 8 fourths times 3 than 8 fourths plus 8 fourths plus 8 fourths. So that's why the multiplication has precedence. All right, so I hope this has been helpful. Hope you understand why the answer to this is 12. And good luck, and hope to see you in a future video.